Now that we're entering the first week of July, we have more data out. We're 6 months into 2024, and now we can speak a little bit more definitively, effectively about the Florida real estate market. Now listen, many of you have given me a little heat because I continue to tell you that I think we are in a slowly bursting bubble. Not like a big massive explosion as in overnight the entire market's going to crash. That's not what I'm talking about. I am talking about the type of bubble where there's this little pinhole and then we have another pinhole and another pinhole, and slowly but surely, right before our eyes, although some people do not want to admit this, the bubble is flattening, and that is happening, and I'm going to give you a little bit more proof of that today. Now, do I derive any joy out of this bubble bursting? Of course I do not, because I'm a real estate broker. I've been a real estate broker for over 26 years. It is how I feed my family. So it is not great news to me as I live through this market in 2024. It isn't. So for those of you that think I'm celebrating a bad market, why would anybody do that? Why would I do that? Do you know why I tell you what I think is real and factual and my interpretation of what's going on in the marketplace as a real estate broker for 26 years plus? I do that because I never want anybody who's thinking of buying or selling to do that under a false premise, or having read the brochure, or having been in vacation mode and not realizing that vacation mode is very different than living in Florida mode. I feel like I want to give you the information that I would want to have if I were buying in a state that I don't have expertise in. I just visited often. A lot of times I'll use Massachusetts as an example. My brother lives in right outside of Boston. Beautiful area. I have visited there several times, but would it be somewhere that I want to live? Well, I want to ask somebody who actually lives there, somebody who works there. I want to get all the information from them. I don't want to just experience the area as vacation mode and not really know the real deal. So here on my channel, we try to give you the real deal, and then you make the decision from there how it fits in your world. So today we're going to be talking about the 4 reasons that I feel like there's some more little pinholes that are either going into the bubble or opening up a little bit more. And I'm telling you, we will see if I'm right or I'm not, but in 2025, I really think that is the time frame. I think anybody who's thinking about buying in Florida, they need to be preparing right now. Get educated right now so you can hit the ground running in 2025, because in my opinion, that is going to be the time to get the best deal. All right, so last week, we got some more data, and what did we discover? Well, we discovered that 1 in 4 of the homes in Florida are on the market. 1 in 4. 1 in 4. Can you believe that? That is a lot. That means that if you drive up and down your street, count 1, 2, 3 for sale, 1, 2, 3 for sale, 1, 2, 3 for sale. Put that into perspective a little bit. That is a lot. Now, in your hometown up north, you may not be experiencing that. You might be saying, what is she talking about? We have no homes on the market. In a secondary home market, it's completely different. And that's why I bring you this channel, because you do have to look at it differently than you look at a primary home market. Now, because there are so many homes for sale in Florida, what you can expect to see and what we are seeing are an abundance of price reductions. Constant price reductions. And I'm not talking about that game that a certain couple real estate companies play where they drop $1 just so that they can get it up to the top. They can bump it up to the top of your list. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about 10,000, 20,000, 50,000. You know, it is always so entertaining to me when an agent will put
huge $50,000 reduction.
Well, you know what that says to me? You overpriced it by $50,000. So right now we are seeing a ton of price reductions. And you as a buyer, you might think, where's the basement? I don't know where to test out the basement. So my suggestion to you strategically, if you're in the market right now trying to buy, throw the low ball. I mean, what do you have to lose? That will shake out where the basement lives. And the advice that I give my buyers very often, let's throw a number that borders on embarrassing. Let's throw a number that borders on offensive, and let's see what the sellers do. Now, a lot of times a seller will walk away and you'll hear from them a couple weeks later. It happens all the time. You have to be prepared to have a plan B, have another home that you want to throw your numbers at, have another home, maybe have another 2 or 3 homes, because listen, 1 in 4. You can do that. It's not that tough to do it, especially in a condo market. So I would say that right now is a good time to throw low balls. Now, why do I tell you that? Because I'm trying to crash the market? Of course not. If houses sit the way they're sitting, that's not helping the market at all. That's not helping things continue to move forward. But the reality of it is, if I'm acting as a buyer's agent, I'm out there throwing low balls because we don't know where somebody's bottom line number is. We don't know what somebody's motivation is. We dig a little deeper to find that out, but that really is the only way to shake it out. So low balls are out there. That's a new little pinhole. It's a new little pinhole, but it's the reality of things. Now, the next little pinhole that's kind of become a gaping wound in the bubble is HOAs, insurance, flood insurance. As you know, if you follow Florida real estate, that is a nightmare right now. We don't have to go into too much detail on that because I have several videos on my channel discussing the Florida insurance crisis, whether it be homeowners insurance or flood insurance. But it's happening, and it's a big prevalent problem right now with condominiums because they are not only affected by the structural engineers reports that have to be done on any condominiums that are over 30 years old, 3 stories or higher. We all know these rules. And if you follow the news, you know that there are a lot of communities. I just watched one a couple days ago. Little old couple, so sad, in their upper 80s in Miami. And they not only got hit with an HOA that went from $1,500, or condo association, that went from $1,500 a month to $3,000 a month. But on top of that, their assessment for the structural engineer's report of all the things that need to be retrofitted and redone and fixed up and brought to today's code. Think about elevators. I mean, there's a lot of things that have to be done. Parking garages, their amount was $290,000. So what did they do? Well, they put their condo on the market, as did many other people. But if your condo, if you have it on the market for $400,000, because that is market value, but this new assessment has come in, let's just round it up, for $300,000, what's going to happen to the value of that condo? What's going to happen? Well, that value of that condo is going to go way down, because if you aren't going to pay that as the homeowner and you're going to pass that on to the buyer is of course going to factor that into their offer, as are all buyers. So all of a sudden your real estate value is in the trash can. A new pinhole for 2024. Season is on its way. We are in the off season right now. In Florida, when it's really hot, that's our off season. When it cools off and when it gets really cold where you live up north, that is our season. So what happens when season shows up? People do things that are absolutely insane, like raise their prices. Well, if you didn't sell $100,000 lower in the summer, are you going to sell in season $100,000 higher? Theoretically, in the COVID years and maybe some years prior to that, yeah, you might have been able to do it. There was a huge demand for homes and condos in Southwest Florida. Well, anymore, there are so many on the market, 1 in 4, remember. So if you play that game and you try to raise the price up $100,000, $50,000, you're going to sit like bricks. And people will do it. They do it all the time because they figure all the buyers are coming in the marketplace, which they are, but it's all the buyers that want a deal, and now it's the buyers that can afford a second home, because remember, second home is a want and not a need. So nobody has to go buy a second home in this market with the insurance crisis that we're having. So doing that, increasing what you're asking if you're selling your home in Florida, especially coastal Florida or even Orlando, that type of area, not a good idea, but people will try it. The other thing is everybody wants to put their home on the market in season. There are many of my friends and colleagues, that are agents out there telling people, don't worry about it. We're in the off season. When season hits, we'll get your house sold. When season hits, we'll get your condo on the market. Don't worry about it. So what's going to happen? You know how many people are sitting in the sidelines? That shadow inventory that we're going to see a lot. In the area that I generally work, which is going to be Sarasota and South, a lot of people sit tight until season. So we might see 30-40% more houses hit the market, houses and condos. Can you imagine? All right, and then the last little bit of information that I want to give you is that Florida has officially become the most expensive place to live in the country. Florida housing is the most expensive place to live in the country. In addition to that, Florida has the longest, what we call DOM. Have you seen that on an MLS listing or maybe on one of those websites, online search engines? DOM, days on market. CDOM, cumulative days on market. That means multiple listings. They've listed multiple times and not sold. So we are seeing the longest days on market of anyone in the country. Second to that, second and third is Louisiana and Texas. But Florida is number one. So what does that mean? What does that mean to you if you're thinking about buying? Get ready, my friends. If you're interested, do a consultation with me. All of my information is down in the description box. We can do a consultation, do a deep dive, and get you ready when 2025 hits for you to hit the ground running and know which communities have the biggest drops in price, where you can get the best deal. These are all things you should know before you take that week's trip down. We should go in with knowledge. Knowledge is power in this market, I am telling you. So if you're interested, I would love to do a consultation with you, and we'll get you on the track to get a really good deal in 2025.